You're listening to the Vanadium Registry. In days of yore, there were a people changed by an accursed treasure. Awoken from its dormancy, the fortune transformed its seekers into living weapons of a varied kind. Among the many corrupted was one shapen in the likeness of the sea, and bequeathed its treacherous burdens. The inheritor tried to defy the sentence and escape its judgment. But no matter where he went, nor what he did, ruin and calamity eventually followed. As a consequence, his people came to fear him, for they learned too late that the tides could never be trusted. So a challenge was made, and a title was promised to whomever vanquishes the monster of the deep. In time, the challenge became that of glory, and like his corrupted kin, the inheritor was also defeated. And now, Recollection Report 2, a weapon of water. I woke up in a tank, floating in thick, dark liquid, with bright neon lights illuminating my tube. As I bobbed in place, my anesthetic stupor eventually lessened enough for me to fully open my eyes and take in my surroundings. In front of me watched a calm silhouette, resting comfortably in a chair, peering over entangled hands, and staring at me patiently from the other side of the glass. "It's about time you woke up, Nami," said the silhouette, stepping forward and joining me beneath the lights. "I hope you don't mind me calling you that. After all the memories we've shared, well, I feel like we're old friends." Emerson. "I would ask if you had any sweet dreams this time, but, well, we both know you didn't." I responded with a punch to the glass. "Oh, now don't you go and do that. You know it hurts me," he said, putting a gentle palm to where my fist rested. "My feelings, that is." Disgusted, I withdrew my hand as if he'd burned me with his distant touch. "Aw, and just when I thought we were getting close," he cooed, as he ghosted away from the tank. "Shall we start over, then?" Emerson's voice echoed as he snapped his fingers, causing my tank to electrify. As I was plunged into a familiar darkness, an overture of thunderous roars and my own deafening screams bled from the tank as I watched Emerson take his seat once again to enjoy the show. It was departing day, and as usual, the naval station was busy and loud and very crowded with families saying tearful goodbyes, while others admired the fireworks exploding overhead. I walked across the dock to the troops' boarding platform and joined the queue waiting to board the ships. I stood behind a freckled trainee that was nervously staring up at the fireworks, making a wish. "Troops are to be alert at all times, soldier," I said sternly, startling the young man. Quickly, he turned around in formality, ready to explain himself. But as soon as he saw me, he dropped all ceremony. "You're ridiculous," said my younger brother, Jace, while holding back a laugh. "Now is that how you greet your commanding officer, soldier?" I joked as I pulled him into a hug. "You know you didn't have to board with me, Nami. I wouldn't miss sending you off for anything, Violi." While ruffling his hair, I was reminded of the good old days and realized just how much taller he's become. Grumbling, Jace wiggles out of my grasp. Okay, Grandma. When are you gonna stop with all this old-school Haven talk?" "What? You're always gonna be my little Violi." Playfully, I held his hand. It comes with being a younger sibling from the Havens. Despite all of his blushing and complaining, he doesn't let go of my hand. I'm happy to see that some things never change. As we moved closer to where our admission lines diverged by rank, I could see it becoming harder and harder for him to mask just how scared he was. "Hey," I began. "The Havens, they might be overlooked, but it's our home. Never be ashamed of that. And never let anyone look down on you for it. Okay?" I could see my words slowly strengthening him.
Yeah, no, I get it. I won't forget. I'll make you proud.
"Jace, I'm all ready." I was interrupted by an automated announcement calling us to board our transports. As soon as I entered, I ran along the deck to keep sight of my brother for as long as I could, and he did the same. Both of us yelled farewells across the sea, hoping our words would reach the other. Before we lost sight of each other, Jace mouthed one final word. "Fiocella, my beloved sister of the Havens." With my brother now completely out of sight, I left the deck and went to sign into my sleeping quarters. But as I walked through the transport, something was off. Actually, everything felt off. Doors were covered in a type of reinforcement that I've never seen before. The transport was full of people, yet felt so empty. And every area was filled with artificial conversations, like they were trying to mask just how quiet it really was. I looked for familiar faces, but I didn't see anyone that I recognized. My entire team got promoted with me, yet not a single one of them were there. Acting on instinct, I discreetly moved towards the exit, but I bumped into a man and dropped my room key. I didn't see him when I came in earlier, and he was wearing a patch that displayed a rank that was far higher than anyone who should have been on this ship. "Oh, excuse me, sir," I said, with a customary bow to a superior.
No, soldier, it's okay, not a problem. Excuse me,"
he answered, as he knelt down and grabbed my keycard. With an unreadable expression, he offered it back to me. Without realizing it, I hesitated. It felt like he was offering me poison, but with a smile. Our eyes locked for half a second, and that's when I saw it. Evil. The kind only in the eyes of an executioner. He knows. He knows that I'm a forge. Seeing my realization, he snapped his fingers, causing everyone around us to stop their performance, draw their weapons, and shoot at me. Immediately, I activated my powers, shielding myself from the barrage of bullets with a dome of water. Through the swirling vortex, I could see the man's twisted delight at witnessing my powers up close. With a small gesture of his hand, the soldiers drew closer while continuing their onslaught. Everything was happening too fast. How did they find out that I was a forge? Who sent this man? If this was a trap, then what's happening to my brother? With the thought of Jace being in danger, I receded the tides from around me and focused it into a column that surged toward the ceiling, causing a sudden wall of water to cave in from all sides and overwhelm my attackers. Dragging them under and pulling them into violent currents, they stopped shooting at me and were forced to try to survive in a room that flooded before any of them could have taken their final breaths. It didn't take long for the doors to burst from the water pressure, spilling me out onto the deck. Quickly, I sprung from the floor and ran towards the edge of the transport, readying myself to be welcomed into the watery deep. But as I leapt into the air, I was shot. Not by a bullet, but by lightning. Someone shot me with lightning, I realized as I lost consciousness. When I woke up, I was strapped into a standing position in the middle of a room. Standing in front of me was the man I bumped into, now wearing a badge with his name engraved. reading Faisal Emerson.
My brother, he's not a forge. Oh, I know he's not a forge, he interrupted. Neither is your father, nor your mother. Just you. Where's Jace? Why don't we try to get to know each other first? He taunted. Before we start telling each other our dark secrets. Triggered by his words, I tried breaking free and attacking him. But the shackles kept me in place. I'm not telling you anything. Then don't. Unfazed by my defiance, he pressed a button, causing a tank to form around me. The shackles dissipated as the tank's floor bled a black liquid. This wasn't water. I could feel it numbing my limbs and muting my powers. I tried to hold my breath, but he electrified the tank, forcing me to breathe, initiating a painful cycle of drowning, but never dying. Taking a seat in front of me, I heard Emerson speak. Now that we're both relaxed, let's get to know each other. The Vanadium Registry is a Studio Imbe production. This show is written and performed by Asia Ansley. Original soundtrack, mixing, and video editing are also by Asia Ansley. Likewise, all artwork and cover art are by Asia Ansley. Learn more about the Vanadium Registry and view the series at our website, imbe.studio. The Vanadium Registry is a listener-supported production. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider supporting us on Buy Me a Coffee and by sharing our work. Thank you.